Sergeant Josh Hopper, United States Marine Corps. I've been in for right at 5.5 years. I've had 1 deployment to Africa and 2 deployments to Iraq.
It was while I was in VMFA 115 as the executive officer that I knew Sergeant Hopper. He did 2 tours in Iraq as an infantry marine, as a saw gunner. On his first deployment, he fired thousands and thousands of rounds from his weapon, saw lots of casualties, and experienced battle on a daily basis throughout his deployment. On his second one, he employed his weapon only 1 or 2 times, but saw more and more IEDs. In fact, he received a Purple Heart for injuries he sustained as a result of an IED.
Sergeant Hopper, when he joined the squadron, came to me as one of my S2 intel clerks. He was a lat move from the infantry.
He gives you his heart, puts everything into anything that he does, and gives you a lot of confidence.
Not only was he this big physical specimen of a Marine who could push around more weights than just about anybody else in the squadron, but he also was a kind man, very professional, did his job and did it well.
I couldn't find enjoyment in anything. I couldn't even enjoy being around my own kids. I was distant from everybody in my family. You know, where it would be I'd call my mom and dad, 2 or 3 times a week. Well, they would call me 2 or 3 times a week because I wasn't calling them, and I'd just hit the ignore button. Pretty much all I did was I'd come home from work, pour a drink of some sorts and just sit there until I fell asleep and wake up and go to work the next morning. And pretty much a repeat cycle.
Came to work every day. We talked about baseball, talked about the squadron, talked about deploying, where we were going, what we were doing. Even the deployment to Iraq never seemed to raise any concerns with him that I saw. But it was not until the day that we gave him that award that the light went on in our head that he may be dealing with something we need to help him with. And as Sergeant Major was reading the award, I realized that Sergeant Hopper was reliving what had happened at that time. Shaken, cold sweats, and it was all happening there within 30 seconds of reading the award. And I realized that I needed to engage him and make sure he was good and make sure everything was going fine. And that was kind of the first presentation that I saw of symptoms or something that wasn't quite right.
He approached me just like any other Marine. We sat down on a picnic table. He was right in front of me. He goes, "What's bothering you?" He knew something was up. And I told him, I said, "I'm about to lose it, sir. I started telling him everything that had been going on. And I said, I've got to do something. I've let this go too long to where I can't sleep. All I think about is, these negative thoughts. I've pushed my family away. I said, I've been getting up every morning, coming to work, making y'all think everything's fine, but really I'm just putting a mask on, and you're not seeing what's, going on the inside or what's going on at home." And I said, I've got to do something about it. And he was nothing but supportive of it.
The CO actually personally picked up the phone and started searching for the experts. The medical care specialists right here at Beaufort Neville Hospital knew exactly who to point us towards, and the CO lined up inpatient treatment in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
It seemed like from that day on, when I would go to get treatment, go to my classes, things like that, things started getting better. After my 3 months was up there, I came back.
He was on his way to returning to full health and clearances and everything else, and I said, "Bring him back. He's part of us. Let's go." And he came back in and checked in at my door, and I said, "All right, get to work. Let's go." And it's been great.
I know if I didn't have a CO like him and a command like I had, and the kind of family I had, that I might have not made it through this and gotten better. I think the reason why I waited so long to finally get help for my PTSD, it wasn't that I was afraid that, my command was going to look down on me, or they wasn't going to be there to support me, or I'd be black labeled or nothing like that. I think I basically had to swallow that lump they call pride in your throat.
I haven't thought any different of him. As a matter of fact, I actually respect him and trust him more now because of the fact that he had a problem, he had an issue, he brought it to me. Together we figured it out, we fixed it, and he's as good or better Marine now and in the future. I mean, he's a trusted agent for me.
Sergeant Hopper's been an inspiration. His actions, how he dealt with this, like a man, like a Marine, as a noble Marine, inspires us all to do better. Right now, he can do whatever he wants. He has got an unlimited future in the Marine Corps.
There's not a commanding officer out there or a leadership staff out there that doesn't want to help. It's sometimes challenging for a young Marine to come to a senior staff member or senior officer in the unit and tell him he's got a problem. We're all Marines. I'm just like the rest of them. I just want to help, and just like they do. So don't hesitate. Come ask.
I think it takes real strength for anyone to go get help for psychological issues. Being active duty in the military, you're kind of, branded with he's the tough guy. He's either the Marine, the soldier, the sailor, the airman. They go fight our wars for keep our country free. You already kind of got a chip's been put on your shoulder that those kind of things aren't supposed to bother you or get to you. So it all comes back to, it takes real strength to swallow your pride and to say I need help and to go actually get the help.